back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. It's me, IJ, and I'm back with a new tutorial. If today is your first time of stopping on this channel, you are welcome. My new and old subscribers, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for your support. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly support me by subscribing. Hit on the notification bell that whenever I upload, you will be the first to be notified. Now guys, let's dive into today's tutorial. Today's tutorial is just a requested tutorial by one of my subscribers, and I decided to just do it to please this subscriber. This request is about this top that I'm putting on. She asked me to make a video on how I made this top. It's so simple, so easy. It's an exaggerated balloon sleeve. You can do it in any form you want, and this material is just an organza material. You can also use other materials to achieve it. And this is a patch, an Ankara patch that I used to decorate the front part of it. So today's tutorial, we are going to use this blue organza material to achieve this particular top, and also the patches that we are going to cut out is from this Ankara material. We are going to cut out one, which I've already done that. I've cut it out. It is a bed. Do you see it? I just cut it. So any patch of your choice, just use it. Like this one, you see this one is round. This is just a flower, but this one is just a bird or a fowl. Do you see it? So that is the one that I'm going to use as my patch on this blue material. So guys, without wasting much of your time, let us start. So now guys, I have to fold the front and back together. Remember, organza material is also silky in nature. So we are going to fold our front and back together. So let me just take the front and the back is being folded together. Do you see it? I fold it in two and I now fold it back again. So now I'll place it on the table for us to start inserting our measurements. Now guys, I have now folded my material. I fold it in four. The front and the back, I'm cutting them together. That is why I folded it in four. So now we are going to start here. Here is going to be our starting point. Here is going to be our starting point. So let's rule it. It's just a simple dress to make. So easy to achieve. So now the length I'm going to use, the length is going to be 24 inches. It depends on how you want it to be. If you can see, it has elastic, so it's going to bounce up when you put it on. So I'm going to use 24 inches plus 1 inch to fold it. That is going to make it 25 inches to fold it to add my elastic. It's a requested one, so I want to please my subscriber. So now this is the length. So the shoulder that I'm working with is 15 inches. Half of it is 7.5 plus half inch is 8 inches. So here is my 8 inches. So I will also come down here by 7.5 instead of 8. 7.5, so that when I sew it, I'll take half inch. And also here, I'll come down by 7.5. And on this, and the neck opening I'm going to use is 3.5 inches. 3.5 by 3.5. That is what I'm going to use. You can also use your curve to make it. You can also use your curve to achieve it, or your free hand. Do you see it? And on this 7 and 8 inches, which is my shoulder measurement, I'm going to come down by 1 inch as my shoulder slope. Then I'll connect it to the 3.5 inches. You see it? Remember to add 1/2 inch on this upper side while cutting it to join the two together. That's the 1/2 inch we are going to add when we are going to cut it out. So now I'm going to also come down, make a straight line here. Do you see it? Now I need my waist measurement. So from here I'll measure my waist. My waist is 17 inches. And I'll also make here 17 inches, my waist. And also the hip, my hip is 22 inches. And also make this side 22 inches, which is the hip. That is the horizontal measurement. That is the vertical measurement, sorry. So now the horizontal measurement we are going to insert. Remember, the bust here is the chest line. We are going to mark where we came down by 7.5 inch as our chest line. We are going to mark it here. That's the chest line. So let me go through it again. Here is our starting point. That is, now we are taking our vertical measurement. Here is our starting point. So from here to 7.5, here is our chest line. So from this shoulder to 17 is my waistline. From 17, from the shoulder to 22 is my hip line, and 25 is the length of the gown we're making, including seam allowance. So that is it. So now I'll make it into a straight line. It's a free gown, it's a free top. So now the bust measurement we are working with, the bust measurement is 38. Divide it by 4. We are going to have 9.5. So here is our 9.5. Then I add 1 inch as a allowance and 1 inch to close it up. And on the waist, 34 divided by 4 is 8.5. I add 8.5 plus 2 inches, which I added on the upper part. That's the 2 inches. And on the hip is 10.5 inches. 42 divided by 4, 10.5 plus also 2 inches. And with this measurement, which is 12.5, we'll bring it down to the length of our material. So now we are going to connect it together. So from here, from the chest line, we connect to the waist. And from the waist, we connect down to the length. Connect first to the hip. And from the hip, you go down to the length of the material. Do you see it? Do you see how it is? That is our measurement. That is our measurement. And on this armhole, we are going to now derive our armhole. Remember, we came down by 1 inch from the shoulder. Then the half of it is going to be 6. We are left with 6.5. 6.5 divided by 2, you have 3.75. Here is our 3.75. Then we'll now come in by 1/2 inch to get our front measurement. That is the armhole of the front side. That is the front armhole. Do you see it? You can also use your ruler to connect it. That is the front armhole. Do you see it? That's the front armhole. And from this half here, you connect also to your back armhole. Do you see it? So that's our blouse. So So now guys, this is our panel. Do you see it? That's simple. That is the way I made this I'm wearing. So the next thing we have to do now is just to cut it out. And remember, this neckline, if it is not enough to pass through your head, you can open it at the back. But mine is okay to pass through, so I don't need to open it. I'm okay with it. But if yours is not okay, you can go in by 1/2 inch or you can open it at the back. So now I'm going to cut it out to join the two together. You see it? We have cut it out. Now I'll open it up to cut out the front armhole. You take it and you trim off the front armhole. Do you see it? You just place it good. You have to be very careful because you know organza is tricky sometimes. So you now trim off the front armhole. Do you see it? You cut it out, the front armhole. Then the next thing to do now is to cut out our sleeve. Now this is our sleeve. I folded it in 2 and also fold it in 4. So the length of the sleeve we are going to use, the normal length is 23 inches. That is the length my shoulder to my pulse, 23 inches. But this sleeve we are making, I want it to have ruffle at the pulse. So if you want to make exactly this one that I'm putting on, that is adding the elastic on the pulse, you are going to add 2 inches more to this your normal length. And because of the ruffle, I added extra 6 inches to the after the pulse, so that when I fold it and add elastic that will make it to have the ruffles, I'm going to have my normal length. So because of the ruffle, I have to add extra 6 inches to it to accommodate my ruffle. So the length is 33 altogether is what I'm using. And remember, it's a balloon sleeve. It's a balloon sleeve, so it's going to be above, it's going to be larger than your normal sleeve measurement. So now the width is 14. We are using 14 inches because when you now fold it, it's going to come up. So now I'm going to insert my measurement. So from here, just curve it in this form. You don't need much measurement because it's going to have also gathers on the shoulder. So just from here, from this edge, come down to 5 inches or 4 inches. Here, come down to here, 4 inches. Then from here, with free hand, just curve it in this form. Do you see it? Just curve it in this form because it's not fitted, it's free. So from there, you now connect it to the length. So this is it. Do you see it? So this is the way we are going to cut out our sleeve. It's so simple. You don't need much measurement or much calculations to it. So we cut it out. This is our sleeve. Do you see it? Just on the edge where your measurement stop, just come down by 3 inches or 4 inches, which you did, and just connect it with free hand. Just connect it. So the next thing to do now is to start fixing our panels together. So I will take the panel, the body. This is the body. Remember, it's very easy to achieve. So I will fix it. I'll close the shoulder. I'll close the shoulder. Then the side, I'll take in our 1 inch and close it up. And on the hem of it, I'll now close it where I will insert my elastic. Just measure your waist. Measure your waist and cut out the elastic. You can remove 2 inches from the elastic. For instance, my waist is 34. I'm going to cut out 30 or 32 inches. So that is what I'm going to insert, so that it's not going to be too tight or comfortable. So now I'm going to close the body, and also on the sleeve, I'll just take it, and also on this side, I'll fold it. You know, it's going to have pleats here. I'll fold it until I come to the normal sleeve length that is going to fit in here. And remember to trim off the front armhole. Open it up you just open it up in this form and trim off the one that is going to be on the front side. Do you see it? Just come down 1/2 inch. Do you see it? You trim it off, and remember to notch the center of your sleeve. Here is my center. I'm going to notch it. Remember to notch it. This is it. So the next thing to do now is to take it to the machine, close it, also close the sleeve. Remember the sleeve, I'm going to close here. I'm going to close it. I'm going to fold it. Then after folding it, I'm going to take elastic to gather it on the post. After the 23 inches, I'm going to gather it and it will be in this form. Do you see it? So I will do all and I'll show it to you guys. Remember, if you want to do this, you don't need extra 6 inches. You just add seam allowance to fold it and add your elastic. But I want us to choose either the blue sleeve or this one that I'm putting on. So guys, I'll do it, fix them together, then I'll come back to show it to you. Now guys, I've joined the front and the back together. Take in 1 inch to close the 2 sides and also to hem the down. And I left here open to insert my elastic. Do you see it? And on the sleeve, I've also closed it up. This is the sleeve. I've closed it up and I hem the down part of it. That is the ruffle part of it. I've hem it. If you don't want to use ruffle, you just hem it and insert your elastic. Then you are going to have this that I'm putting on. But if you want to have the ruffle, you take this step that we now use to make the ruffle. So this is it. And from there that I closed, from the edge that I closed, I came in by 5 inches. I just measured 5 inches. Do you see it? I came in there to insert my elastic using my pulse measurement for the elastic. So you measure yours to know what it is and make it to be a little bit loose, not too tight. So I did mine and I now insert my elastic. Do you see it? So this is the elastic and this is the ruffle. So the ruffle is now formed. And to attach it, just take your blouse. I've already fixed one. Do you see it? I have fixed this. Do you see it? But I'll show to you guys how to fix it. I use pin to hold it. Then remember, when we cut out our sleeve, we notched the upper side. We notched the upper side. Just take this up where you notch and pin it to the shoulder that you closed. Just pin it, take it in this form and match it to the shoulder where you close. You match it there. You take your pin to hold it. Then you now turn this over, turn the top over to get it inside. Do you see it now? It's going to be easy now. So you take it, and on this side that you closed, on the armhole that you closed, match it with also the side allowance. Do you see it? I also match it here. Why we are matching it is to create our gathers on the shoulder. So when you start, you now pin it. You pin it till you get to 2 inches before the shoulder where you close up on the main top. You stop. And you do the same on the other side. Getting to 2 inches, you stop. So that the remaining 2 inches, you will use it to make the folding at the shoulder. That is the way I did mine. So I pin it. I also pin here, and this is up to 2 inches. From here I stop. Stopping is to let me pleat it or make my gathers. Do you see it? So now I'm going to start making my gathers. So I just pleat and I take my pin to hold it. I now pleat it again, about 3 pleats on each side. And I pleat this again. Do you see it? Then on the other side, I did the same thing. I pleat it also about 3 times to get my gathers on the shoulder. I also pleat it again. Do you see it? Now I will now show to you guys how it looks after. Do you see it now, guys? Do you see it? So I'm going to take it to the machine to close it up. Then we will now attach our patches. This is our top. I have fixed the sleeve. Do you see it? So the next thing now is to attach our patch. Just take it, place it back on your table, and take your tape and measure where you want to place it. Remember, the neckline is 3.5 inches. So I would now like to place it 1 inch after my chest line, or at the chest line. The chest line is 8 inches, so I place it at 8 inches. Do you see it? Make sure it is in the center. When you place it, you also check it from the armpit to armpit. You check it. Do you see? To make sure it is on the center. Now you use your pin to pin it down. Just to pin it down before applying your gum. Use any gum of your choice, but it must be a fabric gum that is not going to show or is not going to stain what you are doing. Now I have secured it with my pin. Do you see it? So the next thing to do now, I have my paper. I'll put it under it so that the gum is not going to go to the back panel. Do you see it? I place it in this form to work on the patch. So I will take my gum, any gum of your choice that is available to you, but it must be a fabric gum. Then I'll start to place it. Make sure that the edges are neat. So now I'll start placing it with my gum. Now guys, I have finished attaching it. So we'll now leave it to dry for some time. Then you take away the pins. So now I'm going to take it up so that it's not going to stick on the paper. Gradually take it up because you know it's organza. It will just penetrate to the paper. That is why we have to put the paper to use it to secure it. Do you see it? Then you now shift it. You can also shift it to go away from the main gum. Do you see it? Or else you can equally turn it. You turn it, take away the paper, and you turn it the front side inside so that the gum will be outside to get dry. Do you see it? You just turn it in this form, so it's not going to touch the back side. Do you see what I did now? Just to secure it from touching the back. So while doing, you now attach your elastic. So while waiting for it to get dry, we will now insert our elastic. I've measured my waist measurement. Just take your elastic. You can take it and go through your waist to know how comfortable it is for you, or you can measure your waist measurement. So now I have my is 34 inches. Let me see what I have. Then what I have is 30. It's 30 that I have, 30 inches, which is comfortable for me because it's elastic, it will expand. So now, while waiting for this to get dry, we are going to insert our elastic. So now, just take your pin, insert your elastic. Now guys, you can tie it or you can run it with your machine, but I decide to tie it and cut away the excesses. So now, do you see it? Normally I supposed to use a black elastic, but as I said, I don't have it for the moment. Maybe later I'll change it, but for the sake of the tutorial, I want to show to you guys from start to finish how you can achieve this top that I'm putting on. Do you see it? So our top is ready, guys. So easy to achieve. Do you see it? So fantastic, so beautiful. Now I'm going to put it on the mannequin for us to see how it looks. Now guys, this is the end product of our top. So as this I'm putting on, do you see it? So simple to achieve. You can equally achieve this sleeve or this sleeve. The choice is yours, and any patch of your choice, you can equally use it to achieve it. I hope I've satisfied this my so that asked me to DIY this top for her, and you also watching me, I believe you will benefit from it. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Support me to grow this channel, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook, IJ Designs, our group page IJ Iconic Fashion, and on Instagram IJ Designs, and on Pinterest also IJ Designs. I love you guys, and I'll continue to be sharing my knowledge with you. See you in my next video. Bye.